Hi, and welcome to another episode. Today, we're going to talk about three great podcasts that can enhance your investing and also your life overall, and that are very pleasant to listen to, which you can easily listen to 2 or 3 straight hours and just enjoy the quality of the guests and the content, really. These podcasts will be good over time, and the host has proven themselves over and over. So that is some of the KPIs I'm using when I evaluate the podcasts and why I choose the three of these. So the first one I'm going to show you is Tom Bilyeu, and he is very famous for his podcast Impact Theory, and he has many different types of guests, and sometimes he talks about, for example, Bitcoin. He has had more Michael Saylor, Rob Paul, etc. on the podcast. And you can see here he had Alex Hormozi for 11 days ago, and they talked about, for example, topics that we are discussing on this channel, why most smart people stay poor, entrepreneurship, etc. So, and here he had a really great talk with Robert Greene, the author behind 48 Laws of Power, a very great guest with a lot of insights about the human psyche, which can also be very helpful when you're investing. So my man Tom Bilyeu, living in LA, he's a really great host, and if you really want someone that is trying to be objective and that you can use kind of like an AI on topics, any topic, he will say what he thinks, and he will speak to the audience, and he will change his take over time if he finds out like he had something wrong, etc. So in that, he is kind of pleasant in that type of framing, so to speak. He also has some guests like scientific guests talking about living in simulations, etc. So he's quite within his takes, even though the latest year he has like had more guests focusing on like the culture and national politics, etc. But I still think it's very useful, and his way of talking and providing the best from his guests is always very professional. So I can really say that this is something you should, or someone you should listen to and take your time, because it will pay back in both increased knowledge, and it's also very pleasant to listen to. So anyway, Tom Bilyeu and Impact Theory is my first one that you should really check out, and it's so much content going back like 6, 7, 8 years. So just dive in. He was one of the first with many great guests that has been grown bigger, like Mel Robbins, Goggins, etc. Many phenomenon today, so to speak. So yeah, my next one is the podcast Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. This guy is from England, from Manchester, and I do think is one of the bigger podcasts in the world. At least at Spotify, it might be the most popular. But I think Stephen Bartlett, with his podcast Diary of a CEO, really deserves his place. So let's see some of the guests here. Lately had 3 guests on discussing what Trump's return really means for the world, and he always has the great introductions. I can show you here. Now I don't have YouTube Premium, so we just have to skip here. No.
The world is absolutely crazy right now. This is one of the most interesting moments of social, cultural, and economic transition that I have ever seen. So I wanted to do something that I've never done before. I called upon 3 of the leading voices on social, cultural, business, and economic issues to give their unfiltered, uncensored points of view so that we can all make sense of all of this craziness happening.
And you know, Konstantin is more on the conservative kind of side, having his own podcast, kind of the same political sphere as Jordan Peterson, etc. So he's that kind of guy, while Galloway is more left-leaning, thinking that the rich maybe is too easily taxed. It's too easy to avoid, like taxes, too easy to. And he also is saying that the difference between the poor and the rich is growing bigger, and it's a big problem. But still, Galloway thinks that he's also rich, and he will obviously use the laws to his advantages. So he's kind of a pleasant guy to listen to. But yeah, this kind of debate really helps to see people taking different opinions and how they interact in a mature way. So this is just one of many episodes that Stephen Bartlett has, and he's really top-notch in the podcast space. I'm gonna show you the last one, and that is Chris Williamson with his podcast Modern Wisdom. He has also grown a lot lately, 3.27 million subscribers. And what I like with Chris is his journey from Newcastle, working in nightclubs, from Love Island, etc., to being this successful guy, moving to Texas, but really a workhorse in terms of having great guests. Here you see David Goggins. He has like Jordan Peterson, the best in exercise science, Andrew Huberman. So the creme de la creme of guests, and you can see Chris really over the years improving himself, and obviously the content is a bit skewed against like taking responsibility, a lot of focus on young men and how they can improve themselves in society. But I would say, even if you're a woman, this podcast is for you also. Especially the guests are very good, and I think Chris is great in bringing out the best of his guests also. So yeah, it's a great podcast. And if you combine like Tom Bilyeu, Diary CEO, and Modern Wisdom, you will have all that you need for a while in self-improvement, especially if you haven't listened to them before, because there are so many great episodes about everything from food, health, society, culture, economy, investing, all kinds of guests that will help you navigate the modern world. And I think in terms of investing and improving your wealth over time, it's not just about having like the attributes and understanding of pure economy and like KPIs, P ratio, etc. You also need to understand your psyche and how to navigate in life and how to stay calm. And because in the end of the day, why are we investing? Why do we want to earn money? Is it just to get rich? No, it's because we want to use the wealth to something good, maybe to go travel with your family or to give away to charity or something. But you need to improve yourself as a human to become rich. Because if you don't do that, even if you get a lot of gains in the market, you will not be able to getting hold of your money. You will lose them again. So you have to become that kind of person that is wealthy to be wealthy, and to do that you need to read a lot. But if you don't want you to read physical books, some podcasts are really an amazing way to reach that kind of knowledge very fast, because it's a distilled information that is easy to listen to, and you can use your cart as a moving library, or when you just out running or walking or training or doing the dishes or whatever. It's an easy way to gain knowledge and become a better version of yourself, and improving overall. So that is why I think it's an amazing idea to find podcasts and information from different parts of the internet, so you improve yourself continuously. So anyway, that was the topic of today, and hopefully you will listen to some of my tips here. Some of you might already do this, because some of the podcasts I brought up here is quite famous, quite big. So yeah, based on that, maybe you have already listened to some of them, but if you haven't, you should do. And thanks for your time, and see you next time.